With first draw for 2025 for Canadian Experience class out, the cutoff score being 542, a lot of the potential immigrants, they are interested in knowing how they can increase their express entry scores. On January 8th, 2025, we had our first CEC draw for the year. The cutoff for this draw was 542. 1350 invites were issued for this draw, and as you know, the cutoff is still very high. 542 is a score which is tremendously hard to achieve for most people. Given all of this and high express entry scores, the most common question is how you can increase your express entry score. In this video, we are going to talk about all the things you can do to increase your express entry score to best position yourself to get the draw. So stay tuned until the end of this video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Dhruv. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. At our firm Effizient, we assist all prospective immigrants with their immigration to Canada. If you are an aspirant, if you need assistance, here is our contact information. Kindly get in touch with us. We would be happy to assist you. If you would like to speak to me personally for your case, the link to book an appointment with me is in the description of the video. I would be happy to chat with you. We're going to talk about around 4 different things you can do to improve your express entry score in this video. But before we go there, let's quickly answer the comment of the week. So this comment comes on our COPR delay video. And the question is, I got my portal 2, which is essentially the invite to declare your presence in Canada for confirming your PR. On December 10th, I completed my declaration on December 12th. Today it's January 8th. I still do not have my COPR. This is very common these days. The COPR issuance process is taking a long time. There are delays there. If you have made the declaration, if you have submitted your photograph, if you have declared your address and presence in Canada, you should be good to go. Just make sure everything is done from your end. Just double check that. And apart from that, you are not alone. There are huge delays. Everyone is in the same boat where they are waiting for their COPR. So it's normal, nothing to worry. I hope this helps. Now let's come back to the express entry system and how you can gain more points, how you can increase your score in express entry. Now guys, in order to understand how you can improve your scores in express entry, first we need to understand the CRS scoring system. So let's quickly go over that. Here on the screen, you can see the CRS system. So this is the comprehensive ranking system criteria that is used for scoring your express entry profiles. So guys, if we see here, there are points for age, education, language proficiency, and Canadian work experience. Then we have factors for spouse. So if you're married, your spouse will get certain points based on their education, their language proficiency, and Canadian work experience. Thirdly, it's skills transferability. If you have education and foreign work experience, you'll get additional points. And lastly, we have some additional points if you have relatives in Canada, if you have French language skills, if you have studied in Canada, if you have an LMIA. This may be discontinued very soon this year, so we won't rely on this for now. And then if you have PNP nomination, of course, you are going to get additional points, which is 600 for a PNP nomination. Now, with all of that said, the first important thing that you can do in order to increase your score in express entry, which you have control over, is improve your language proficiency. So guys, if you look here, there are points, of course, for the language proficiency itself. So this is the official language. So for better the language score, the more points you're going to get, the CLB 10 being the maximum. Now, it does not end over here, guys. Language will benefit you if you're looking at the official language proficiency scores, but it also comes into big picture in here when we talk about the skills transferability factor. So if we look at the breakdown here, so you can see that for your education, if you have CLB 9 or more, you'll get almost double the points as compared to if you have CLB 7 in your language proficiency. So that means having better language scores will definitely benefit you with regards to the skills transferability factor. Same thing for foreign work experience. If you have foreign work experience and good language proficiency CLB 9, that is definitely going to give you much better points. So CLB 9 is something you should aim, that is 778 in IELTS, 9 each in CELPIP. So that is the first thing that you can do to improve your scores in Express Entry. What is the second thing? Well, the second thing is if you did your educational evaluation and you thought that you did a master's degree back home, but you're getting credit for only a diploma after graduation, you can try to get your degree re-evaluated by another organization. If you've done your evaluation through WES, you can get that evaluation done by uh, the other organizations such as IQAS. Usually IQAS can give you better results, although they have their own problems when issuing the certificates. They may take longer time, and their service is not as good as WES. Being able to improve the level of your education on your report definitely makes a difference. For example, it can make a difference of around 7 points if you have a master's degree and you're getting credit for only a diploma after your graduation. So that definitely impacts your overall scoring system. Now, so far we have talked about two factors, which is language and your educational credential assessment. There is a room to improve your score using these two factors, language being definitely a factor which most of you are aware of. Now, there's two more factors we're going to talk about, with the fourth one being a very practical factor, which a lot of you guys fall in, but you are often confused about it. So stay tuned until the end to know about it. Now, the third big factor comes again at the official languages. So guys, if you know that there is a first official language and there is a second official language in Canada, you get points for first language and you also get points for second official language. So those of you who are English speaking or whose first official language is English, having a second official language, that is French, is definitely going to have a big impact. Now, if I show you over here, there are points for second official language, as you can see on the screen. Not only that, if you go on the additional points, you can get as much as 50 additional points. How can you get that? If you scored CLB 7 or higher on all of your French language skills and CLB 5 or higher in all of the English. So if you're scoring CLB 7 in French and 5 in English, you can get 50 additional points. If you score CLB 7 in French and CLB 4 or lower in English, you can get 25 additional points. So overall, by learning French, you can get more than 70 additional points in your Express Entry. That is going to be a game changer. Now guys, people were reliant on these 50 points from LMIAs in the past. The LMIAs will be discontinued, or that's what the government says. We don't have the official publication yet or official guidelines on what's going to change, but they're saying starting spring of this year they may not give these 50 points anymore. So if these 50 points go away, then French can help in guiding you. French can really help you make through the points that are missing and elevate your score. Now, the last, which is the fourth factor here, is a very practical factor, and this is something where a lot of folks may find themselves getting stuck. Now, for Express Entry guys, if you are single, then all your point calculation is done without a spouse or a common law partner, and you get maximum points for each factor. You can see here on the screen, for each of the factor, the points with a spouse is lower than points without a spouse. If we go down here, with a spouse for age, the maximum points you can get is 100. Without a spouse, you can get 110. Similarly, this continues for each of the scoring factor. Now, the reason behind this is IRCC has separate scoring for spousal factors. So because with a spouse, your spouse can help you gain additional points. So they kind of normalize or balance out the point distribution by giving the principal applicant less points if they are with a spouse. Now, how can this be beneficial to you? If you're married, you can't really do much because you will get lesser points in the scoring table. That's what most of you guys will think. Well, that's incorrect. Now, if you are married, you have two options. One is your spouse accompanies with you in the PR application. In that case, you would be scored on the basis of points with a spouse or common law partner. In most cases, unless the spouse has really good education, language skills, and Canadian work experience, the overall score with the spouse accompanying ends up going down. Now, how can this be countered, or what can be done? Uh, if your spouse is listed as non-accompanying dependent in the application, they won't get PR with you. However, this will help you improve the scores. In that case, IRCC gives you points as if you are without a spouse in the CRS table. Of course, if your spouse is not accompanying, you won't get any of the spousal points. But overall, in most cases, the score of the individual applicant ends up being higher than when the spouse is accompanying. Now, you may ask that if I have a spouse and I have a non-accompanying, can that be a problem? No, that cannot be a problem, or that's usually not a problem. You tell IRCC that owing to the points, your spouse is going to be non-accompanying and you would be sponsoring them later for permanent residence under the family class. Now, all that said, the other question is, I want my spouse to become a PR. Again, the answer is that once you become a PR, you can sponsor them under the family class. For this factor that we're talking about with spouse accompanying or non-accompanying, the best thing to do is to calculate your scores with your spouse and without your spouse and see which is going to benefit you. If you believe that you can benefit from having your spouse non-accompanying to get the draw, then you can consider doing that. And of course, having a draw is better than not having a draw, right? Once you have a draw, then again you can reconvene as a family and see if you would like to proceed or not with this process. So guys, in summary, we've talked about 4 different ways in which you can improve your CRS score. The first is improve your English language or your first language. It can make a big difference. Second is improve your or get your degrees reevaluated to get you the maximum points possible. The third is French language or second official language. It can really help boost your score up to like around 70 or more points. Fourthly, if you're married, there are ways that you can have your spouse non-accompanying in order to gain better scores. In today's day and age, if you have uh, at least a bachelor's degree and Canadian education, some form of Canadian education, you have some Canadian experience, and you have 2 or 3 years of foreign experience, and you are below 30 years, you are the candidate that IRCC is targeting at this point. So if you are falling in this bucket, then English or your first language scores are only the bottleneck which is preventing you from achieving the cutoff. So if you are this persona that I've painted, if you are having a bachelor's degree and some form of Canadian education, you have 2 or 3 years of foreign experience, you have at least 1 year of Canadian experience, and you have very good English language scores, or even if you don't, you are the right candidate. All you need to do is work on your English language scores and potentially see if you're married with or without spouse, what your scores are in order to crack express entry. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you are notified about any new video that we upload. If you think that this video will benefit a friend of yours, some family member of yours, please share it with them. This really helps us and this helps us grow the channel. This helps us keep sharing more and more useful content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.